Hi, everyone. Greetings and welcome to Leading Our Adventures, your Venturing BSA podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Todd, and I have the honor and pleasure to serve as your 2023-2024 VP of Program for the National Officers Association. I'm thrilled to be accompanied by our special guest, Diana, and in this episode, we're going to dive into the fascinating realm of Woodbadge. Stay tuned to gain valuable insights in this exciting world. Something that I've had people that have and peers that have gone through. Did you know that venturers can actually go through Woodbadge? Diana knows all about it. What may look like a critter to one person is a whole world to another. Diana, thank you for joining us today. Would you like to kind of introduce yourself, tell viewers a bit about what you're about, how you got into scouting before we jump into that worldwide world of Woodbadge? That's a lot of W's there. Welcome.
Hi, it's so good to be here. Thanks for having me. My name's Diana. I'm from northeastern Nevada, and I've kind of been in the scouting world my whole life. My dad was scoutmaster since I was 6 years old, probably, and I used to attend all the meetings because my brother was in scouts. I would throw tomahawks in the backyard with everyone. We'd go on camping trips together. And then my sister joined venturing, and I thought, this is just the greatest thing ever. So when I turned 14, I joined venturing. I did NYLT. I watched my brother, sister, and mom go to World Scout Jamboree in England. I believe that was 2007. I attended Camp Fleshman with all the Boy Scouts and did all of the, well, not all of them. I pick and choose which of the classes I wanted to take because I couldn't get the merit badges, but they went towards my awards, so I got to kind of choose which ones I did. And then, yeah, I went to Woodbadge as soon as I turned 18. It was my graduation present, and it was a great experience. So I'm glad I get to share it with you today.
Very cool. Interesting. A graduation present, like graduation from high school. Yay, you did it. Now go to Woodbadge.
Yeah, exactly.
And where you said you joined venturing at that point, and Woodbadge sounds like a really big milestone for you. Very cool. What were you the same critter as your parents?
Interesting enough, no. Every single person in my family is a completely different critter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Does that come with like little maybe stuffy battles? Not battles, but I know in my house, my mom's a beaver and my dad's an owl, and sometimes they'll go head to head with one another.
My brother and I definitely butt heads. He's a bobwhite and I'm an eagle. So we definitely have a competition to see who's the best. But I don't know. I think all the qualities of the critter are good. So it's kind of nice that our family balances out and we're all different.
I love it. I guess you all can be Woodbadge graduates, or you get your neckerchief all together.
Yeah.
And that's something that can bring you together as a co-experience. That's really cool. And kind of, you talked a little bit about getting into venturing, but what drew you into venturing, and how was your involvement in the program? How did that evolve into that graduation gift?
I think I always wanted to be in scouts. You know, I saw my brother doing all these incredible experiences. They were going rock climbing and starting campfires and learning to cook without, a Dutch oven. They could cook on a rock. Who does that? Just the scouts. And it was just something I really wanted to be a part of. So joining venturing was kind of an easy question for me when my parents asked if I wanted to join a crew. I kind of joined at an interesting age. So I had just graduated 8th grade and I could go to NYLT because it said graduated 8th grade. So I went to NYLT as soon as I could. One of the first female inclusive courses in our council, and I kind of saw how having the females in the NYLT course kind of helped the young men grow, and we were all helping each other. Some of the females that were on my course, we didn't know how to do some of the stuff, but the guys were so nice and helped us with everything. Knot tying is not my thing. I don't know all the names. I don't know how to do it, but it was really good experience. So I joined 2 crews in my area, my brother and sister's crew that they started, and then I joined a local crew, which was huge. There were so many kids in it, and I loved it. And then, I just did Woodbadge because it was the next obvious step for me. I knew I would kind of need the leadership skills going into university, so I knew from a young age that I wanted to do Woodbadge, and I couldn't wait. I was just like chomping at the bit just to get into it.
And I guess when you turn 18 is when you can go into kind of dive into that world, and it helps with advancement too. Have you earned at the time, it was called Summit Award, now Summit Rank, had you earned that, or was that part of your advancement process as well?
So I actually earned my Summit Award while I was on Woodbadge. I did my Eagle Court of Honor. I did my Summit Court of Honor the second weekend, because I had it split into 2 weekends. So yeah, I got my Summit rank during Woodbadge.
That's so cool. Very awesome. And I heard a rumor that throughout your tenure, you staffed NYLT 3 times and did Woodbadge twice, maybe as staff after.
I did.
And you were a merit badge counselor as well. So you kind of got all the experience in just one little tight time.
Yeah. So I did NYLT, and then the next year I staffed. I was a patrol guide. And then the next year I staffed. I was assistant course director for program. And then the next year I staffed. I was the first female assistant course director in our council. Yeah, it was exciting. And then I did Woodbadge, and I staffed the year after that I was a patrol guide for the Foxes, actually. And then I was, the year after that, I was the full-on quartermaster. So I was in charge of 4 grown men, and I was only 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge responsibility, and definitely something that I would imagine it helped you as a college student right now. It probably helped you manage groups in college as well, having that experience under your belt.
Definitely. Yeah. It really helped with knowing when to step in and take charge and be a leader, and when to let kind of scenarios play out and let the group dynamic work itself out, because it always does eventually, but sometimes it needs a little leadership push.
A little oomph there.
Yeah.
And that's a great transition to kind of my next interview question, because Woodbadge is known for its emphasis on leadership development. Definitely there's some personal growth, so it lines up with the ALPS model. How did the skills and lessons that you learn at Woodbadge complete your experiences or complement them, kind of go as they're going together and venturing? As you might not know it, but you're working on convincing me, should I go right now? Should I wait?
Yeah. Oh, how can I convince you to go? That's an interesting one. I think the biggest thing that Woodbadge can teach you is that there's no one way to lead a group. Everyone has very different dynamics, different ages, different experiences, but it's learning how to communicate that in a team and how to best utilize everyone's skills. Like you make podcasts. I don't know anything about that. So if you were in my team, I would utilize that for ages. I would have you doing all my communications. So
note to self, don't be voluntold in your team. No, just kidding. I would love to do communications. That's a great job. I love that.
Oh, funny story about that. I told my patrol that I was an artist, so I got to make the patrol flag. So,
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
So,
Yes. Well, you already found my thing that I like to do, so oops, no hiding it from you.
yeah.
But I know a lot of people. I know when my aunt went through Woodbadge, that was the thing that she brought home. She ended up doing the flag. My mom
Yeah.
ended up doing her flag. My friend Mia, who was a fox, ended up doing. Actually, she was an owl. She ended up doing her flag. All kinds of critters all together. Artists unite, I guess.
Yes,
Right
definitely.
in. And you get to be. Uh, you get to be around venturing all your life, and you get thrust into this program. Now there's a whole nother set of terminology. Did you ever get to be the patrol leader?
Ooh, I think I did. I think my team tried to make it every day we were in a different role. And that was really interesting because the men that were in my team, I was the youngest female in the whole course. I think there was one other youth with me. He was 18 as well. Um, so we were the youngest two on the whole course. But the men in my group were so supportive and
Mm-hmm.
they knew I didn't know everything. I didn't do Weeblos, I didn't do Cub Scouts. I watched my brother do those, but I didn't get to go to those meetings. And they really helped me. They taught me a lot. They still do. I talk to some of them online all the time. So
That's
it's
really cool.
yeah, it's a really, I want to say, safe environment to learn and to make mistakes. It's you're not making huge mistakes. I mean, if you get the compass course wrong a little bit, then you're still in your camp area. You kind of know where you're gonna end up, but it's still good to know that you have some people to fall on and help and
And
trust.
back you up. Definitely. But the funny thing is, one of my college classes in a few weeks, we're going to be doing a orienteering course, and now everybody, if they've gone for their Woodbadge, they would know how to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what's this compass thing? And I'm like, I know how to do that just because I've been in scouting.
Yeah.
But I do think it is one of the concerns people that I've talked to in the past of they're a youth transitioning into an adult participant, which is going to transition to an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get treated like a child, like a scout, or was it kind of a adult experience and you got to experience that?
A bit of both. So Woodbadge is about experiencing all of the different, so Weeblos, Cub Scouts, Scouts venturing, and I think they've included explorers in it. They didn't for my year because we didn't have any explorer scouts to help explain what they do. So you get to be childish the first day, 2 days of Woodbadge, and then you kind of transition. So yes, I was the comedic relief for the childish side of things, but they never treated me like I was one of their scouts. Like they had to constantly watch me and make sure that I was listening to the lessons, and yeah, they definitely treated me like an adult, and it was a really good experience outside of who I like grew up with, all my school friends, my parents, everyone I knew through my parents. I didn't know these guys. I didn't know anyone on the course. So it was really nice to be treated like an adult because that's what I was. I was 18. I was an adult then. So yeah, it was good.
Welcome. It was kind of a welcoming experience, it sounds like. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you could talk about memorable experiences for the rest of time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we only have limited amount of time. But could you share with me? I'm dying to know a time in your Woodbadge that had a significant impact that you kind of look back and you're like, that impacted me personally or maybe professionally.
Ooh. That's a good question. I'm gonna have to think for just a second.
Okay.
Hmm. I think it was that my team did trust me to do what I said I was going to do. We have to give a presentation, and we divided all of our roles based on what we were doing. And I don't know much about being a leader in Scouts, so I was very new to it, but they still trusted me to get my slides done and to have them prepared. I think that has really helped with, especially with university and my professional life after. With university, I think everyone listening, and maybe especially, that group projects can be difficult. So it's, if you can trust yourself and know that you're going to get your work done, no fear. And then if you get your own stuff done, you can help other people, which is great. So yeah,
definitely that team aspect does come in, and I wouldn't have thought about those pesky team projects. They're for our own good, but and I love working together as a team in Scouts, but it's harder for when it's in an academic setting. So I like how you made that connection, and maybe I can work even harder on making that connection with some of my group projects that I have to do after this call. Oops. And definitely, you talked about how mentorship played a very significant role. You got to mentor your fellow group members, and then you got to be mentored and benefit from that. It's a central aspect, from my understanding, when it comes to venturing and Woodbadge. How have mentors or fellow participants influenced your growth and development in these programs, kind of starting at 13 when you just joined all the way up to now?
Well, starting at 13, I think mentoring really helped me just live the Scout Oath and Law. There are times that sometimes maybe falter. That's okay. We're human, but having mentors to guide you and just say, well, you could try it this way after you've tried it your way, just to see what it's like. That really helps, especially when you're 13 and you've got so much information like being thrown at you from social media, from school, your peers, just everything. And then going into Woodbadge, it's completely different, because you are treated like an adult. You are, if you go at 18, you are stepping into a world where the leaders are mentoring the younger participants. So you still need to find those mentors that will help you continue to grow, because I don't think mentoring ever stops. I think we all continue to grow and develop as people. So my mentors have they've been there forever. I love them. And I keep getting mentors. I like collecting them. They're amazing.
A little collection. Shout out to your mom, who you let me borrow throughout the term as an advisor, and that's one that I've enjoyed adding to my collection, I guess, if we're calling it a collection. I've never heard it called like that. Now I'm picturing like a collection of patches that you just
my brain immediately went to like dragons that hoard different things, like books and golds, like knowledge, mentors. Love it. That's my dragon
advisors, mentored. I love it. I love it. And I heard about maybe an email story that you learned from. Yes. Do you want to share it here?
Yeah, I will share it. So when I was about 16, 15 maybe, I was the president of my crew, and we had kind of just formed. So I was the very first president. No one knew, the structure, and we were really having a hard time getting going. And I had a really bad day at school, like really bad. And no one from the crew was helping with an event we were planning. It was bad. And I felt so alone. And I accidentally sent a really, really bad email to one of my friends. It was not nice, but my mentors that I had, they pulled me aside and they said, this isn't really appropriate. And I said, I totally agree. Like, I sent an apology email as soon as I hit the send button. And the biggest thing I learned from that is, well, I learned two things. The first is save draft on any emails you send and reread it the next day. Because if you're having a bad day and you send something, bad things can happen. And the second thing I learned is, time, it takes time to heal. That young man and I are still really close friends to this day. It was luckily, he did forgive me for it. I'm so grateful that he did. But yeah, it was really hard just to learn that lesson as a 16-year-old. I never thought something like that would happen to me, but it did.
Kind of actions have consequences kind of thing. But it was a very good personal growth experience.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a few experiences like that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
Really cool. And I was also wondering, reflecting on your journey, when it comes to not necessarily emails, but more of key benefits of participating in Woodbadge. I have been told a few times that there's a lot of parallels between venturing and Woodbadge and kind of the venturing advancement program. If you look at it, there's those personal goals that you achieve, there's those leadership. So there's a lot of things that add up, but why would I do both concurrently for young adults or leaders in scouting? Why? Like, what's your why?
My why? That's a great question. Well, for me, it was a huge stepping stone into who I wanted to be. I graduated high school and I had just accepted my university course. I was going into game art. No idea what it was. I'd played games, I'd watched people play games, I knew I'd be making the art, but I had no idea what it actually entailed. But my Woodbadge tickets really helped me step into the world of technology more. I chose some scouting related ones, but my biggest one was creating an advert for the World Scout Moot in 2017. And I didn't know how to edit a video. I didn't know how to do any of that, but it really helped with my university degree, going from knowing absolutely nothing about video editing, learning all the steps, picking the music and the pictures and putting it all together. It was massive. And I didn't think it was going to help me so much in life, especially with the university, but it really did. So even the tickets are just really beneficial to being whoever you want to be in life.
I like it. A contributing member of society, as one might put it.
Yes.
And I heard, as we were talking earlier, you moved to another society, didn't you? At some point.
I did. Yes, I was born in northeastern Nevada, and I went to university in southwest Wales, over in the UK. So completely different. Very different.
Kind of a into the unknown moment you got there, but Woodbadge was also your into the unknown, into a uncomfortable space, but it morphed into a comfortable space, learning to make mistakes and having fun. Have the principles and practices you've learned in Woodbadge influenced your leadership approach? You kind of talked about this earlier within venturing and other areas of life. Tell me more about that. I'm hungry to know about that.
Sorry, can you rephrase the question? My mind just went.
Sure. So there's a lot of different things. I was wondering, as you're going with your leadership approach and the different areas of life that you've experienced within venturing, how have they portrayed and how have you been able to use those skills in the outside world, or maybe the real world, as some people, at least in university right now, keep calling it? to influence others. You kind of talked about that already, but I'm hungry for more. I'm sure the listeners are at the edge of their seats, kind of waiting to hear more about your experience.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I kind of talked a little bit about group work, but to kind of expand on that, I was the art lead for my team of 8. We were making a game for a gaming competition, and it was so much information for all of us to process. We had never created a full game. We'd never taken it to a convention to be shown to the public. We didn't know what we were doing. So there was a lot of conflict that arose from it, but I think Woodbadge helped immensely, because one thing especially NYLT, I very vividly remember them saying, if a conflict arises, separate everyone, let them cool off, and talk to them. They might want to get something off their chests, or they might say something inappropriate to someone else. But if they can say it in a safe space before they confront the matter, it's a lot easier. So Woodbadge definitely helped with conflict resolution in group work, especially during conventions. There's, we were a team of 8 showing for 4 days straight in London. So many people were around us. We felt like we didn't have time to kind of like de-stress at the end of the day as a group and explain what went well, but I think we handled it really well.
I bet you did. And
yeah,
you could tell me that story. In the meantime, I am curious, are you allowed to tell us what game you are working on? Like, is it one that's in the grocery store now that I can go get?
Yeah, it's on Steam. It's called Scientific Shutdown. It is couch co-op. So yeah, we couldn't get the online multiplayer to work. So it's better if you could get all your family to play. Oh, that'd be fun. Oh my gosh.
Oh, our crew could play. That could be my next thing that I do at the crew meeting. What is it called?
I am not liable for any any bugs or any conflicts that may arise from playing said game. It's called Scientific Shutdown.
Scientific Shutdown. Okay. We'll have to practice our conflict resolution skills right in the moment, just like you did when making the game.
Let me know if you find any bugs. I'd be interested to hear. I was the artist, so I wasn't part of that.
Well, but the art. I guess we'll have to go and look at what kind of art we see.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool. And finally, as we're concluding this conversation, as like our time is running away, it's been really quick, and I've enjoyed it so much.
Yeah,
what
me
advice?
Too.
Oh, I'm so glad. What advice would you have and to offer those who are considering getting involved with venturing, maybe watching this and are like, should I go to Woodbadge? And this also might be your elevator pitch. Should Hannah go to Woodbadge? Because that's something I've been working on. There's people in my council that are like, do it, yes. And then other people that are like, no. And I'm like, it sounds scary.
My advice would be just to do it. In life, you're presented with so many situations. You have 1,001 reasons to say no, but can you find the one reason to say yes? And if you can, just do it. You're not going to regret it. You regret the decisions you don't make. And I think going to Woodbadge as an 18-year-old right after high school was the greatest decision of my life. It's the skills and the friendships that I learned and made there, just, I can't forget it. Every day, something from Woodbadge pops in my brain and go, yeah, that was a great moment, or that was a great joke, or, oh my gosh, I forgot that lesson. I need to look it up again. Oh yeah, that was really poignant. So just do it. Oh, is that branded? Sorry.
Oops.
Sorry.
Oh, well, when it comes to Woodbadge, you heard it here first. The greatest elevator speech you will ever hear for Woodbadge, or at least the ones I have heard. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Thank you so much for coming, Diana. I've had so much fun with this process, getting to know you, getting to know your Woodbadge experience, learning lessons from you. And I really appreciate you sharing insights of the world, the wonderful world of Woodbadge. There we go. 4 W's. And for the listeners that we had on this episode, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of our venturing podcast, Leading Your Adventures. If you would like to get involved with a crew and don't know really where to start, don't you worry, because what you need to do, go onto your computers, click open another tab if you're watching this on YouTube, type in bsscout.org, hit the little venturing icon. It's nice and green. And you too can be like Diana, joining, venturing, having so much fun, being the artist for her patrol flag, and joining this amazing world. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next adventure. Until next time, stay adventurous and keep leading the way. Bye, everyone.